love. I don't know. Okay, my shirt was looking kind of weird. Doing some weird stuff. What's poppin'? Welcome to another edition of StarSeed Shcht. We're gonna go ahead and get right into this energy. This is for all of the star seeds, our star seed collective, those who are here with a soul mission to help ascend humanity in whatever way that they are uniquely here to do so. I love doing these just to kind of hone in on the energy, and this is helpful if you ever think that you're alone in this journey and you need help or additional insight, this, that, and the third. I don't want to do too much of an intro because we already know the vibe. You feel me? Let's go ahead and get right into it. I do want to say that the energy that's been coming up. We talked about this before. We talked about how 2023 is a year of literal. So we're taking all of like the perspective and perception out of shit, and it is what it is. Like the words that we use is no longer about what words and things and experiences mean to us. Not that that's not important. We're understanding that that's literally what we've been focusing on, is what things actually mean to us and not what it actually means, or how we want to see things, how we've been seeing things and not how they actually are. And so that brings this energy of authenticity along our journey, because that's essentially what we've been getting to, is being more authentic, our most authentic selves. And it's not a self concept or a sense of self or characteristics that we're trying to add on or take away. And it's not about becoming anyone or being anyone. We are literally more so unbecoming all of the things that we have built up. So even these ideas and characteristics of our highest self, and what that means. And so now we're more so not concerned about the individual character traits that we thought our highest self would or should embody, because those can lead to inauthentic experiences as well. Like, oh, my highest self is someone who always shows compassion and gives 100% in everything that they do, and now you feel pressured to show up a certain type of way to be this compassionate person or endure things that you don't want to engage in because you don't want to feel like you're backsliding or giving up or something to that effect. So now it's feeling like, wait, now I have to adjust these characteristics that I thought were making me better. And I see now that I'm more interested in just being authentic. I'm more interested in being without all these preconceived notions and concepts and insights and meanings and reasons and values and all these things, because I don't need to wear those things in order for me to embody them in my fullest authenticity. So like my morals and my values, I don't have to be them. Like I don't have to identify with them in order to just embody what it is, the energetic frequency of what those morals and values or whatever are. And so it it allows us to be a little less like stringent or like stoic in our way and state of being. And it really allows us to find contentment in life showing up exactly as it does without our or without what we think is our influence or even the need for that. And a lot of times that can even lead to discomfort, because it feels like you're not taking control of your life, and and you're not creating your reality, and you're letting life happen to you, and this, that, and the third. And so we are literally becoming comfortable with letting life happen to us, even though we've gone through this whole understanding of creating and co-creating and aligning with divinity and all these things. And that can be, again, uncomfortable, because now we have to unclench and release what we know to be our divinity or our relationship with God. And it's like, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to revise my or release my relationship with God? And it's not even about that. It's about the idea. It is about the identity that is held in the dynamic. And being able to release that actually speaks to the authenticness of your faith, because it doesn't have to, again, you don't have to identify with it or be that, or you don't have to hold on to these ideals so tightly, so that, because why would you need to do that? Who are you trying to convince? Who are you trying to convince? I do want to talk about, we'll talk about that on a different video, because I really just want to clean slate this. Y'all see, I'm actually going to be starting with tarot, which I don't usually do. Actually, I'm not going to start with tarot. I'm going to start with pulling an oracle from the StarSeed Oracle deck, and then we'll get into tarot. So let's go ahead and we got karmic relationships popping up, the 7 star sisters, birthing creations, we got the weight of the world, boundaries, let it go, it's not yours to carry, big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. Of course, these are all going to be big themes. These are all going to be big themes. We got I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs, double mission, light worker, starseed, serve the world by being you, and wait is not time yet, things are being woven. Wow, telling a story already. So let's see the soul focus of this energy and that energy. For our Starseed collective, a soul focus for those themes and how they will be playing out. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. And then we have Star Brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, trust. Horus and Taurus energy. Okay. So of course we got Forge, don't follow, pave your own path. So again, this is why, these are uncharted seas. Again, we're the new round of star seeds, the new ancestors, you know what I'm saying? So this is uncharted territory. This is these are experiences that we may not have another someone to be able to model our experience after. And that's actually great, because we're kind of out of that. Like, that's the thing. We're not really, that's something that we were looking for when we were worried if we were doing something right or wrong, or if we were worried about how to do it, or doubting ourselves, this and the third. And it's not that those things and those feelings magically have disappeared. It's more so we are becoming more comfortable with the uncomfortable, the discomfort in that in-between space and that newness, the uncharted territory. And it's actually, we can see it as exciting. Not that we never did before, but we can rest in that excitement a little bit more now that we know that it's not just anxiety. So I am going to read what the guidebook says for the Forge Don't Follow card. But first I want to get a couple of tarot cards out. So I'm going to start by pulling from the Quantum deck for Divine Masculine energy. Of course, this is not exclusive to gender or sex. This is literally just Divine Masculine energy, the energy of doing, the energy of like self and expression of self. So let's get three. Excuse me. We got this card. It's the E equals MC squared. This is also the Chariot in this deck. And I'm likely going to read the guidebooks for the tarot as well, because as you can see, these are not traditional tarot cards, and so they have some non-traditional messages to them. So in addition to, I low-key feel like, let's just see. Wow, and then Lovers. And then let's just get one more. Describing the Divine Masculine aspect of this energy. We had the Hangman. We got Hangman, Knight of Swords, Two of Wands, the Hierophant, King of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. Wow. So we got the Hierophant with the King and Queen of Cups, Two of Wands, Knight of Swords, and Hangman. This is very much giving not only just relationship energy, but soul tribe energy. Both, I don't want to use the word fighting, but striving and allowing space for perspectives to change in our relationships, and the relationships that we are entering being a reflection of our authenticity and the authenticity that we are choosing in our relationships. And taking a look at all of our relationships, and honestly just taking stock of how real they are, or how real we're thinking they are. This is also even just allowing them to exist, allowing people to exist as they are, and more so choosing a path that isn't, it's allowing ourselves to choose a path that isn't created in duality or through polarity. And this is honestly like the end of that, the no pain, no gain, and it takes knowing what you don't want to know what you do. It's not that that's not helpful, it's just that it's really not necessary. It's really not necessary. We don't need to keep holding on to polarity so that we can know what we want. Like, that literally just keeps polarity happening. And so it's like, it doesn't do anything for, I mean, let me not say that, because it can be helpful when it is helpful, but that's the thing. We don't need to hold on to our tools and our fucking whatevers because, oh, you know, it kept us safe or it got us to where we want to be, you know, at a certain point or whatever. It helped us create boundaries. It helped us, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. We don't really have to. It's okay. It's okay to let go of the polarity, bruh. It is okay. Look, we got the Nine of Swords again in the Devil. It is okay. The Knight of Swords, I believe that's Hercules, and it's like a very much a card of like he's down to squabble, but direct his focus like on something important, because otherwise he could be just fighting aimlessly. And that's giving me with that Devil card, because that's what it can start to feel like. Like, it's not about shit showing up that you don't want so you can know what you do want. Like, that's literally, that perpetuates the idea that life should be a way other than it is. And here's the thing, because we have not only been practicing our authenticity of self, but authenticity of being, we know that that's not the case. Like, we know that life exists perfectly as it is, and it's only our filters that say that life should or even could look differently. Until we had that thought, like when we came up in here, we didn't have no frame of reference of what life could or should be. We were just here vibing. And it wasn't until we started defining our experiences that then there was some polarity. Like, if you think about it, when we got here, there was no polarity. Like, for us, we was just here. And then we were taught to see polarity in our experiences. And then we were conditioned and taught to honor and appreciate that polarity, because it serves as a catalyst for integration. And while that's a truth, now we're at a point where we don't need that anymore. I don't need to know what's separate from me to know that nothing is separate from me. And I understand that everyone is on their own stage of that and phase of that, and it's not about rushing anything or none of that. We had Two of Cups and the Ten of Cups. It's not about rushing anything or anything like that. It's literally, it just is what it is. And so there are different levels of accepting that happening right now, especially in the StarSeed Collective. Got the World, the Magician, and that gosh darn Nine of Swords again and again.
Which one is it?
I'm on YouTube.
I know. Which one is it?
The only YouTube I have is God is Vision.
It ain't letting me.
We need one more card for the Divine Masculine. Thank you very much. Okay, first of all, we got the Five of Swords at the top. I believe that this is... Hold on, let me look and see what this is before I say what it is. Because... Oh yeah, I was about to be wrong. It's actually the High Priestess. Beautiful. Wow. So for the Divine Masculine, we have the Chariot, the Lovers, and the High Priestess. That's crazy, because this is the energy of, like, this is the being, this is the doing energy. And we already got, we do have movement, but we also have movement with intuition. It's more like we're allowing, remember, I forgot what video we talked about this on, but intuition, we talked about intuition being a system of showing us what it is that we are creating. And when we choose to follow our intuition, we are choosing the path that we're choosing to follow the path that we created. And so it's like our intuition is less a system of telling us you should do this or you shouldn't do that, or don't do this, don't do that, or do this, do that. It's more so like, hey, this is an experience that you are creating through your psyche, and should you choose this experience, then yes, this is what you're gonna experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you're creating. This is literally what you're creating. And so if your intuition, like, say your intuition's like, oh, don't go to that party because whatever, and you're like, ooh, I don't know, no, I ain't gonna go to that. You know what I'm saying? Your intuition is telling you you're creating this idea or this experience, and you can choose to take it from here into existence. And so you may choose to not go to the party, and then some shit pop off and you like, yeah, see, I knew it. Or you might choose to go to the party and nothing happens and you're like, that was weird. Or you might choose to not go to the party and nothing happens and you're like, well, at least, I feel better. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily that your intuition is the end all be all, like, oh, don't you hear this? And then it's like, don't do that, and then you don't do it. And then that's gonna happen for sure, on the money. Nothing that hasn't happened, it hasn't happened. So your intuition can tell you what can happen, what you are creating, but it's not here yet. But you can make it be here if that's what you choose to do. And so that's very much this energy. We got the Chariot, the Lovers, and then the High Priestess. And it's very much give and go with what you know. We ain't worried about the conditions and what we see in the polarity of it. It's very much like allowing yourself to go with what feels good, with what you're being attracted to, even despite conditions or conditioning. Allowing yourself to be an attractive force as well, and knowing that it will result in fulfillment no matter what it's looking like in the meantime. I know that's right. Let's go, goddess. Let's go. So this is the Divine Masculine energy again with the 5 of Wands at the top of the deck. And so this is very much giving like still that conflicting energy, and it might look like you're conflicting with some other motherfuckers, but it's really a self-conflict, because there would really be no need to conflict with people if you're just like, bro, I am that I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's a going to a goblin type shit? Like, I don't, no comprende. Like, no comprende. So, and it's very much like, and even if you want to fight with a motherfucker because they might be dead wrong, it's like, bro, you so wrong that me being right don't even It doesn't even help this situation. Like, so I'm not even about to fight to be right. I don't need to. I literally don't need to. As a matter of fact, I'm shedding whatever needs to be right now. And so you can be left with all the fucking validation that you need in this situation. You could call me whatever you want to call me. And what Nikki say? They're making me be the bad guy. You need me to be the bad guy. It's okay. Because you know who you are. You know what you're doing. You know what's authentic. So even if it makes some other motherfuckers uncomfortable, hey, that's literally a them thing. And it's not you being inconsiderate. It's them actually being a little too fucking considerate. Maybe stop considering what the fuck I got going on over here and you consider your own shit. And you really wouldn't be worried about how it's coming off over here. Literally, what the fuck, man? It's giving, baby, am I doing too much? I'm leaving messages and voicemails telling you I miss you. Yeah, because that's the thing too. And then like it can leave you feeling bad, but it's like you gotta think about it. Why would somebody be trying to force some shit if they didn't have some insecurity about letting the shit go? Why would you be upset about upsetting someone if you didn't have some insecurity about upsetting someone? And it's okay to have an insecurity about upsetting someone, because there's a conditioning that doesn't want us to, we don't want to upset people. A lot of us is trying to just navigate. A lot of us is trying to just get through and just exist. And we're trying not to hurt nobody. But we understand that's subjective, and that means that some people can get hurt by some shit that we did that wasn't meant to be hurtful. So what you gonna do? Not do nothing ever? Not be who you really want to be on the off chance that it could upset someone? No, we know from before, we're not dimming our lights. We're not dimming our shine. We are shining. We went from stepping through, shining through, to shining. Divine feminine energy, we have Two of Swords. So this is, again, not about gender or sex. It's more so focused on the energy. This is our internal energy, the universal energy. Justice. See what I mean? And the Fool, yes. 10 of Wands at the top of the deck. Very much similar energy to that 5 of Wands, but this is internal and eternal. So it's very much we had that weight of the world, let it go. It's not yours to carry energy. Yeah. That's... Hi, Barry. How you doing? Here comes Mr. Man. Don't knock my stuff over, though, okay? Okay, gonna come up here? You gotta be cool, man. Be cool. But yes, we got the 5 of Wands and the Divine Masculine. We got the 10 of Wands at the top of the deck for Divine Feminine. So it's very much... the same energy, doubled down. Of course, it's doubled down internally because we tend to be harder on ourselves than we are on others. But again, it is an internal thing. So what we're doing is settling the shit internally, because when it's coming out looking external, we know better. So because we are settling it and have settled it internally, now when it comes time to see polarity and conflict externally and outside of ourselves, we know better. We know better. We have the Two of Swords to the Justice card, and then the Fool. So this is very much like, because we understand that we might not always be, or even we might not always perceive ourselves as super confident and like super sure and certain. And first of all, we're releasing the need to be certain about anything, because we know that anything that we could be certain of is thought-based, it's form-based, it's coming outside of the origin story. It's another layer added on to the origin story. So we let mental back and forth, we let that shit rock. Yeah, we let that shit rock, because we're no longer trying to control our thoughts. We're not trying to we're not even observing ourselves as an observer anymore. Like, because this Fool card is literally like a higher vantage point from even that. Like, because we've been practicing observing our thoughts and observing ourselves so much, and then we went from that to being aware of that awareness, it's another level added on to it, in which we are literally just letting life, and that includes the internal back and forth. What are you gonna do, Barry? It's okay. And that includes the internal back and forth. That includes what we think we gotta know, and what that includes all of what we think, and any opposing thought that comes with it. We're no longer sitting here monitoring our thoughts so much that we gotta keep them a certain that's out. Very much the Fool. Very much the Fool with it. And we got Justice in the middle, so it's faith that we don't even have to do anything to get that justice, that authenticity, that real. It doesn't take this Two of Swords back and forth. We don't have to think our way to our fucking truth. We don't. In fact, we recognize that everything that we keep thinking and adding on, it just goes on top of our fucking truth. It hides the truth even more. Now you gotta get all that shit out the way before you get. And so that's why we just letting this shit rock. Because if you don't see it as Two of Swords like this, but Two of Swords like this, it becomes a straight fucking pathway. Them shits is not like literally that's the Fool. That's the Fool energy. Getting back to it, and anytime really that we're becoming like confused or about it, we're checking back to self and like going back, because again, this is Forge Don't Follow. This is a whole new everything. So we can't even rely on any previous conditioning. I said too, so we don't even, getting back to how we thought about shit when, or I don't even want to say thought, how we felt about, how we were about shit when we were kids. That Fool energy, Big Bang energy. We weren't, before we were taught to, we weren't in the practice of every thought, every action, every experience being linked to the next one. And if we don't do this one right, then the next part ain't gonna be good. And then if we don't do that right, then they ain't gonna get to this. That's rewind. Right, Barry? Rewind. Taking it all the way back. And yeah, there may be some discomfort in that too, because it feels like, wait, aren't I supposed to be feeling some type of way about this? Aren't I supposed to be doing something with my thoughts? Aren't I supposed to be transmuting? Ain't I supposed to be? And if those things make you feel good, though, go for it. We talked about this last year. If it feels good, allow it. If it brings peace, allow it. If it makes you comfortable to affirm shit, affirm it. But not because you feel like you have to, otherwise you ain't gonna get what you're affirming for. That's just adding another layer onto some shit. Again, that's you getting further and further from your justice, because you're adding more and more conditions onto it. If I'm not like this, then if I'm not like that, then Barry, hey, we talked about, no, don't try to switch it up. We talked about that. No bites. Give me 1 second, because I need to get another deck, and so my shit might move around for a second. Hold on. Not only do I have to get another deck, but I have to get the book for this deck. And I got a lot, girl. Yeah, I got some art supplies and shit all over the shit. Got my books, got my boxes and shit. I'm sorry, sketchbook. I didn't mean to drop you that far. Where is... Let's see. I want to read for Forge Don't Follow. Not my stuff getting messed up. I don't like when I could see edges. Barry, you gonna read it? It says, Forge Don't Follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. If you wait until the path is perfectly paved, you won't be forging your own path. And you'll likely not even take the first step. Don't let a small detail, like being unable to find someone to show you the way, be the reason you don't step forward and lead. Let it be the reason that you do. The most courageous and needed leaders are the ones who don't wait for permission, or until the morning they wake up feeling ready. They take a deep breath, put one foot in front of the other, and figure it out as they go. That's that Chariot, Lovers, and High Priestess energy. Figuring it out as you go. Yes. They don't wait for someone to lead them. They lead themselves. This is a card for leaders. And we talked about the leaders. If you're watching this, you're a leader. Okay? And I really wish, I don't know if I saved that live from last year when I did that live. But yeah, if you made it to Goddess Vision, you're a leader. That's it and that's all. Okay? Not all to you. I mean, that's all to that. You're here to pave a path that hasn't been walked before. To go first and lead the way for others who are calling you in. If you feel misrepresented in the media, step forward for all those who also feel misrepresented. If no one's speaking out on the topics you feel passionate about, share your unique voice. There's no one on earth who comes close to possessing your unique combination of skills, gifts, and life experience. Don't look to those who've come before you to work out your path. Leaders must forge their own. Here you go. You gonna go back inside? Go ahead. Okay. It says, don't look to those who have come before you to work out your path. Leaders must forge their own. Do it for your daughter. Do it for the younger you. Do it for the leaders who will follow. When you go first, you make it easier for others to follow your lead. Forge, don't follow. Aw, good boy, Barry. You had to go potty? Well, thank you for going potty outside. That's a good boy, Barry. Don't step on my stuff, though, because you got pee-pee paws. The StarSeed Soul Inquiry says, how are you being called to forge rather than follow? How can you be the leader you wish you had? So we don't even need to, go too much further into that because it pretty much says what we covered earlier. Barry, get over here. Barry, get your ass. 1 second, y'all. Excuse you. No, you stay in there. Y'all, why I just had to hop a gate? Messing with this guy. Had to hop a gate. Okay? We forging paths for real, okay? We hopping gates. Wow, Barry. Barry Allen, aka The Flash. For real, for real. I want to read for... You know what? I'm not going to do that right now. Let's actually go ahead and grab... from the Lemuria deck. And let's go ahead and see what this StarSeed energy, how it's all encompassing. Go ahead and get a light code for this StarSeed energy. Wow, thank you. Oh, hilarious. We have Earth, nurture nature. I don't know why we're not surprised. Gaia, it's so funny because we talk about this all the time and how Gaia comes through every single video. Every single video. This energy though is more because first of all, Gaia is like begging us to reconnect. Gaia is like reconnect with me. and not just on a superficial level. And I mean superficial as in however you've been connecting. Go deeper. Even if you have a super deep connection with Gaia, it can always be deepened. And all of the discomfort that we're feeling is because of our resistance to nature and what's natural. We've spent a lot of time building structures and mapping out the land, scaping the land. Very rarely do we just relax here and be content with her and not trying to change anything. Imagine how it would feel, and I know a lot of us can, if, say we were in a relationship, right? And we had a partner, and our partner always told us like how we're everything that they ever dreamed of, and we're so great, and we're this and we're that, and it's all beautiful. And then as time goes on, our partner begins to tell us how, oh, you could change that. Oh, but wouldn't it be better if you kind of did that? Don't you think you'd enjoy yourself better? And just kept creating all these conditions for how you and the relationship could be better, even though it was supposedly perfect and it was exactly what they asked for in the beginning. How would that make you feel? And so take that understanding and think about it, how life would feel. If you were life, how would you feel about everybody trying to change you and trying to create through you what they wanted and not choose what they don't and whatever? How would you feel if you were life, if you were earth, if you were Gaia? Like, damn, so you can't just sit here with me, huh? Oh, it's too hot. Oh, it's dirty. Oh, bugs. Oh, my house, air conditioning, homelessness, this and that and da. Manifestation, law of attraction, duality, blah, 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 blah. Went from literally just chilling as soon as we get here, chilling with Earth, till now all of a sudden there's just all these ways in which it should be, it could be. This is about literally getting content back with Earth as it is, with life as it is. And there's something inside of us that is afraid of that, because it feels like, well, if I don't choose something else, I won't get anything else. If I don't choose what I want in my life, I won't get anything. No, it's more so an understanding that you don't have to choose to get what you want from life. You don't have to do it in a picky and choosy way. If you're content with what life is offering you right now, and you express that to life, guess what? Life will respond by presenting you with more and more of that which you are content with. And if you're content with everything, then life will give you everything, and you don't have to worry about not getting anything. Because not only will you have everything, you will be absent of nothing. And of course, furred and feathered friends. And we have ecstatic bliss. No more being afraid of sharing your gifts. Take your time, but please understand that just beyond the edges of everything that you're afraid of happening is literally the possibility of everything outside of that construct that you created. This is very much a big, big energy of reconnecting and reintegrating with everything. Nothing is separate from you. It's not, oh, those are animals. That's you. And how you feel about animals and beings that you deem as less whatever than humans, that is a direct fucking reflection of how everything you think you are. Or you know you are. It is a direct reflection. If you look at that chair and you say that chair is just a chair, it don't mean shit, you have discounted a part of yourself. Because where is the knowing coming from that chair is not only separate from you, but it's less than you? Why? Where even would that come from? And literally, in everything that you would be telling yourself right now, understand that that is a thought, and then go try to get to the origin of that thought, and the origin of that one, and the origin of that one. You won't be able to find the origin that serves as the evidence that anything is separate from you, because what you will only find is thought. And every thought was thought and learned by the process of thinking. So this is literally about getting in that practice of treating everything like it's you. Treating everything like it's you. And it's not that we haven't been practicing that, but I mean, at this point, it's very much like a doubling down. You see, that five of wands to the 10 of wands. It's very much that doubling down energy, because really at this stage, not to say that we don't got nothing to do, but we're not even going to get into that. But at this stage, it's very much an energy of like, yeah, because I'm becoming content with life, I have a lot more opportunity and time to really integrate this oneness in. Like, really integrate it. And not only do I have the time and the space and the opportunity, it's like, because I'm also in practice of like being my authentic self, I have more wiggle room when it comes to outside opinions about what it is that I'm doing, or inside opinions about what it is that I'm doing. And so I can allow myself to do things that I wouldn't normally, or that would seem eccentric or even delusional shit. And I know that as a collective, yeah, there's still some stragglers, but as a collective, we know the beauty behind delusion. We know that, hey, if you're delusional, congratulations, baby. If they call you delusional, congratulations, because that means that you have surpassed the boundaries of both your mind and theirs. You being delusional means that you're not being illusional. That's that ecstatic bliss too. Very much being so high in that heart chakra. Again, I'm not trying to convince nobody, including myself, of shit anymore. I don't need to be convinced. Whatever part of me that was telling myself that I needed to be convinced or believe in something in order for it to be true, I understand that that too is another thought form. It is another thought form that's telling me that, or that is expressing itself through me, like all other thought forms, like the one before that and the one after. We have 26, 75, and 74. Obviously not going to read all of those, but I want to see what they are. 26 is impact. I think we had that yesterday, actually. 74 is means to an end, attitude, and 75 is incompatibility. So it's giving very much authenticity and I was gonna say the influence that it has on your life, but I don't really want to use that word. We have 23, sigil 23, and then we have sigil 10 at the top of the deck. So let's go ahead and see what those are. Oh wow, source be funny. Sigil 23 is inauthenticity. And sigil 10 is denial. So let's go ahead and get into it, just in case, because again, we're doubling down. Okay, so let's go ahead and read for sigil 23. This one, of course, got to be a long one. We're going to get through it, okay? It says, if you've drawn this sigil, you are not being authentic. You are not being honest to yourself or others. Each person comes with a unique essence, like an energetic signature, and our unique purpose, thoughts, unique feelings, desires, unique needs, and role within the greater universe is embedded in that essence. You can picture that essence as a unique pearl that is contained inside a lotus flower that is tightly closed. Our life experience is a process of unfolding. In a perfect world, that lotus blossom would bloom naturally, its petals unfurling to reveal the pearl within to the new world, or to the world. Unfortunately, we live in a world where the process of socialization and therefore parenting is quite often an impediment to this process of unfolding. The people around us look at us as if we are a raw substance to mold into what they think is best for us and for them. They tell us that certain things are acceptable, and if we are those things, we will be loved and safe. They tell us that certain things are unacceptable, and if we are those things, we will be rejected and unsafe. Anything that remotely resembles something that will meet with disapproval is then something that we feel vulnerable about, and we begin a process of splitting ourselves. We put forward only the things about us that make us loved and safe in the world. The rest we keep hidden. It's as if we will not let certain lotus petals open, and by doing so we keep the pearl hidden in order to fit into the world, be loved, and feel safe. We can only be authentic to the degree that we currently know ourselves. For this reason, it is critical to look inside yourself. Authenticity is the conscious mending of the incongruencies between one's inner self and outer self. It's giving 5 of Wands and 10 of Wands, okay? And that's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. It's giving the Fool, the 2 of Swords, and Justice. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. It's giving High Priestess, the Chariot, and the Lovers. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. Authenticity is when your inside matches your outside. There are all kinds of incongruences between one's inner and outer self. When a person is working at a job they hate, this is inauthentic because their outer work does not match their inner desires for work. When a person says they like someone or acts as if they do, when the truth is that they hate them and want to be nowhere near them, this is inauthentic. When a person says that they are not artistic because they suppressed that inside themselves long ago, this is not authentic. When a person denies how they feel because they have learned certain feelings are not acceptable, this is not authentic. When we care so much about seeing ourselves as good that we cannot admit to aspects within us that wouldn't be seen as good, we are inauthentic. When we are gay but we pretend to be straight, we are inauthentic. That was very, very specific. If you draw this sigil, ask yourself relative to this situation, is there any incongruence between my outer self and my inner self? Be willing to look bad to yourself and others. Let me say it again. Be willing to look bad to yourself and others. Or at least be willing to confront the incredible terror you have of doing this. We spend our whole lives trying to avoid shame. Shame is the number one enemy to the human ego. But this means that we are constantly avoiding anything that is real about us that could possibly make us look bad to ourselves or to others. So we are never actually able to face and work with what is real about us. Notice when you alter your behavior or tailor your response to what you know will be approved of. Most often, we only stop this behavior when we are in so much pain as a result of being inauthentic that we can't maintain that inauthenticity at a moment longer. Oh yeah, this is where we at. This is where we at with it. No pretending, baby. And it might be uncomfortable. That's exactly why this live is named what it's named. Okay? Very, 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 very quite merry contrary. Only then are we willing to deal with the negative consequences of our authenticity. Whatever you are trying to defend is, in fact, the vulnerability that you need to be authentic about. The heart of being authentic is being vulnerable. The reason we aren't authentic is because we are afraid of what will happen if we are. We are afraid that we will be rejected, unloved, and not received because we have been taught, either intentionally or unintentionally, that we will be. Many people think that they are being authentic when they aren't because they are only exposing part of what is true. For example, we may say that we are angry when in fact we are terrified and insecure. Or we may say that we are angry when in fact that is only part of the truth because we are both angry and insecure. You can only make a positive change to something that is real. Unless you know and admit to what you really think, feel, need, and actually want to do, you are working with illusion and you are not going to get anywhere. It's like building a castle on thin air. It will crumble. In this situation, you are not being authentic. What do you really think, feel, need, and want to do? What is real? And that's, you look, soul family. We know that it can't nobody, we gotta do that. We gotta do that. I'll read real quick for denial. It says, if you've drawn this sigil, you are currently in denial in this situation. The question is, what are you avoiding, admitting to, or accepting? Denial is refusing to accept or admit the truth of the reality of something unpleasant. An example of this is a person who has been left by their spouse and who continues to think and speak and act as if they are just on vacation. Why are these so specific and very, very, visceral and when we cannot deal with, change, or eliminate something painful, in order to avoid despair, we simply deny whatever is painful. But it is a powerfully unconscious state of being, because to slip into denial, a person has to stop seeing, feeling, and hearing any proof to contradict it. At some level, they have to go into a bubble so as to not be reached by the proof of the world. This goes right with authenticity. If you holding on to some shit, in denial about it, you ain't being authentic, baby. And that's the thing about authenticity. You really don't get to like pick and choose and pluck shit to be authentic about. That's what that card was saying before. It's authenticity is all of it. Either you everything or you not. And this is not about being perfect and not having any insecurities. It's about literally being willing to not be perfect and have insecurities and allow them all the right to exist, just like you feel about your perfections or your talents or your gifts or your this or your that. They're no different. The only difference is the way that you perceive them. And when you allow yourself to go beyond the mind, both beyond the mind and unique gifts were in reverse, so that there's some resistance energy there. But when you allow yourself to go beyond what you perceive and what you know, there's so much more space there. There's so much room for activities. You might think that denial is a good tool. After all, if someone can ignore proof in a law of attraction based universe and focus on what they want to be true, they will manifest into that reality instead, right? Wrong. Denial is a state of resistance and suppression. It is pushing against what is unwanted. It is a refusal to accept something. It is a war with what is. And whatever we resist persists. We say that all the time. So if you're wondering why you're not attracted to, we talked about this in the beginning, so we don't need to keep going into it. Keep in mind that denial is not just about denying that there is a problem. Some people see there is a problem, but their denial comes in the form of minimizing the impact it has on their lives, excusing it, forgetting it, or rationalizing it. Denial does not work because unless you know where you actually are, you cannot know where you want to be. And you can't take the appropriate step between here and there. Notice it didn't say, it said, you have to know where you are to know where you want to be. It doesn't say you got to know where you got to know where you don't want to be to know where you want to be. No. The lurking shadow underneath the denial is that the person who is in denial knows in some place inside himself or herself that they are lying to themselves. We talked about this. One of the most dangerous places for there to be denial is in relationships. Oh, Lord, y'all. I just want to say, because I said it was relationship energy in the tarot, so I don't even be pulling tarot, because, we had karmic relationships flop on out. So take it as it resonates. And if it's resonating, please take it. Denial in a relationship makes a relationship impossible. People may be in the same room physically, but they are in different realities completely. And usually the one who is not coping with denial is in torment because they are not just alone, they are alone in their pain. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid I might be in denial about right now? Make a list. Denial runs deep. Denial is not just a river in Egypt. Sorry. But often it doesn't run deep enough to totally silence the little voice inside that is warning you about the potential truth of an unpleasant reality. Then ask yourself which item on the list. If the voice of denial were not so loud, what would the unpleasant voice underneath it be saying to me about this situation? See if you can really accept those unpleasant truths. Excuse me. Acceptance is the opposite of denial and avoidance. What does it mean to accept something? I'm so glad that we're getting into this because I think I meant to say this earlier and I didn't get to. So, or maybe I did. We were talking about acceptance not being approval, but more of an allowance of everything to exist. So I don't even know if we said that earlier. Probably said we said it in many other videos. But acceptance is the opposite of denial and avoidance. What does it mean to accept something? To accept is to recognize something as valid or correct. Doing this makes your being consent to receiving it and digesting it as truth, instead of fighting to not acknowledge it and not take it in. Acceptance has nothing to do with condoning something or condemning something. It has nothing to do with whether you want to change something or not. It is simply about being able to acknowledge something as valid enough to let that acknowledgement in instead of fighting to keep it out. If you've drawn this sigil, take a look at the situation and ask yourself, what am I unwilling to accept about this situation? Why am I unwilling to accept that? If I accepted it, what would it mean or what bad thing would happen? And this goes into us allowing our intuition to tell us what we are creating rather than feeling like we have to just listen to whatever it is that it's saying, because that's also how we end up like, well, what's my intuition and what's mind chatter, and yeah, that helps with that. Ooh, let me grab from the Cosmic Oracle real quick. Y'all know I love this deck. It's very much centered and centered with the intention of unconditional love. So I love to use this when we're talking about love and in all forms, obviously. So let's go ahead and we're going to put this right in the middle of the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, and we're going to see what comes up to integrate all of this energy. Like, what is the bridge? The bridge between the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine, the internal and the external, the as above and the so below. Choices. Oh, Source, you so funny. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get something. Ooh, we only need one, but wow. So we got unconditional love at the cut, emotions at the top, golden crown, and cosmic connection. So first of all, let me just go ahead and say this is really making me want to do a love reading, because I feel like our star seeds got some big like love energy, like, and I mean like relationship, I mean like divine union. Yes, divine union. Yes, fucking soulmate, blah blah, whatever. And I'm only saying it like that because I know that the tarot community focuses heavily on that shit, and it can turn it into something external. And I refuse to have my collective out here waiting on anything, let alone a divine union or a fucking twin flame or a soulmate or a twin ray or a fucking stingray or a one fish, two fish, red fish, fucking blue fish. Okay? That's not some shit that I fucking perpetuate. I don't care if you take whoever back or whatever the fuck. I don't care if you still love someone who hurt you or whatever. That's all normal shit, no judgment there. But what I will not do is sit here and talk about how your divine masculine knows that they're wrong and they're going to reach out soon, but they're so afraid to really show you the true self, and they've messed up, and then there's black magic, and then there's karmics, and then hey, blah 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 blah, fuckity blah. That's not what you're gonna find on this fucking channel. There's so many other channels that you can find that on, though. And again, it's not a judgment thing, but it's very fucking redundant. I will say that. So I guess it is a judgment thing. Whatever. Who gonna check me? But anyways, with that being said, we know that we do not only deserve love and cosmic connections and divine union, but that's literally what we're on our way to. It's already here. It's already happened. It's done. All we have to do is accept that. And it's not even an act of accepting it. It's just literally unbecoming or unfiltering whatever the veil that is saying that it isn't here yet. And again, because we are in this state of authenticity, our relationships are going to reflect that. And so it will literally, like, that's this cosmic connections, this divine union energy, because it's going to be like, first of all, linking up with soul family, soul tribe, but also it's going to be like-minded in romance too. And the thing is, we don't know what that really looks like yet, which is a great thing, because it means it looks differently from what we've seen before and what we're clinging on to and holding on to so bad and feeling like we gotta, you know what I'm saying, see in a certain way. But this is love without attachment, and so, or romance without attachment. And so, yeah, it's gonna be different. This is a new path. This is forging a new path entirely. And it's exciting too. Like, now I don't want to come out. A card focusing on bridging the realm between the above, the below, the internal, the external. For our StarSeed collective. I have a feeling that whatever comes out is going to be very specific. Look, celestial teachers, celebration, and walk your truth. So again, it's going to require being that way paver, that path forger. Look, how we go from no cards to all the cards. Very free-spirited. Very much requiring you to let go of the old stories, be fearless, mirror souls, gratitude, worlds within worlds, and communication. Yeah, this is going to be a very, this, first of all, is going to require embodying this love, or knowing that you already do embody it, so that it will be reflected above and below, internally and externally. That's why that celestial teacher, like, it's like, don't fall off, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't hold the vision. Don't let up, don't waver in it. Communication and choices. And look, that was the first card. And we have communication. So really just is so funny because this choices goes right with the authenticity. This is not about waiting for this ain't about waiting for life to decide what the fuck is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's kind of hard to explain it this way because our words are rooted in duality and polarity and contrast and contradiction. So the best way that I could put this is through becoming content with life as it is and expressing gratitude for life as it's unfolding. It allows you to be more authentic and allow others to be their authentic self. And then from there, you make the choice whether or not to continue to engage. And therefore, through that choice, because it's really not a choice in the sense of, oh yeah, I'm going to stick around or I'm going to keep doing this. I mean choice through presence, through as it's happening right then, moment to moment to moment to moment. You're choosing to engage with it. And what you choose to engage with moment to moment to moment becomes your experiences. And so it is the difference between destiny and fate. Destiny is what happens when destiny is authentic fate. Destiny is decided fate. Destiny is chosen fate. We got the communication card. We've had this before. And then, time out. We had another wait card. Believe, be still and know, and then let go. Let's go ahead and read for choices. It says, to make your decision, ask yourself which experience best allows your soul to grow. You come to a crossroads in your life where choices and decisions need to be made. This period can be quite challenging as you weigh your options. Your mind tells you one thing, yet your heart feels differently. The mind, with all its logic, reinforces your core beliefs in what is safe and secure with creature comforts and stability. Your heart, on the other hand, pushes you to explore possibilities and adventures that seem all too foolish and irresponsible to the mind. Dearest one, your soul longs to grow, evolve, and expand to higher states of consciousness. Your heart knows this, and it is the guiding force within you. The mind is the vehicle that assists you in getting you to where your heart needs to go. Are you growing in your current situation, whether it is in a relationship or working environment? Or does spirit have to bring outside influences such as changes in your working environment or a new friendship that causes you to review your current relationship? Not only this energy of relationship keeps coming up, bro. Oh my God, I talked about this earlier with Soul Family, and it's very much like it is so okay to choose not to be with someone, even if they have all of these great fucking qualities. even if they're the most beautiful person you've ever seen, even if they have so much to offer and there's no logical reason why you shouldn't want to be with them. Guess what? It is still okay to choose not to be with them. And it's okay to, after that, feel like you missed out on something. It's okay to feel like you didn't miss out on shit. Because they both exist simultaneously in existence. And existence is going to be defined by whichever one of those you focus on. So, anywho, you don't have to feel bad about not choosing someone just because it doesn't make sense why or whatever. It doesn't have to fucking make sense, man. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. Let that just be. Know that you're doing y'all both a fucking favor, because at some point down the line, the resentment will catch up to you, the denial will catch up to you, the inauthenticity will catch up to the both of y'all. And it will end how it ends, okay? So let's just say it that way. Just because two people like each other don't mean they gotta be together. Just because two people are attracted to each other don't mean that they gotta be in a romantic relationship. Just because someone has all these good, great qualities does not mean that you have to be with them and feel like, oh, you passed up and you're a bad person and all this other shit. Those things may come up, and I encourage you to allow them so you can accept them, sit with them, and fucking do with them what you will. But please understand that that's why a lot of relationships don't last, because there is a fucking obligation there that doesn't need to be there. It's very simple, actually. Like, life is actually very, very fucking simple. It's so simple. It's so simple. Not because of anything other than the fact that it just is. Life is, regardless of, if you think about it like this. Outside of all of everything that you have ever experienced, life literally existed before, during, and after it. Imagine if you were you right now. Imagine you are a fly on the wall of the universe. So for a moment, take away all of the experiences that have happened that have made you you. And just pretend like you literally are just the fucking air that we breathe here on this universe. You will notice that outside of all the stories that seem so important because they're surrounding you and they're encompassing you and you're wearing them, life still literally thrives and exists and continues. And it's not that you and your experiences aren't important. It's that they're not so important that they matter more than life itself. It says, are you growing in your current situation, whether it is in a relationship or working environment, or does spirit have to bring outside influences such as changes in your working environment or a new friendship that causes you to review your current relationship? If it is external influences that are pulling at your heartstrings, not your current situation, then it's pretty clear that the place you are in is not serving your highest good. It may be serving you on a physical, creature comfort level, but your heart and soul need more. You need to be challenged and pushed to make breakthroughs. Why play it safe? You have one life to live, and the mission isn't to be too cautious. Our goal is to grow and expand. Closing doors in your life may not be easy. Trust your heart and inner guide that you are being taken somewhere beautiful. You are not alone. Divine guidance surrounds you continuously. You are never ever alone, even if you're by yourself. The affirmation says, I am courageous as I listen to the guidance from my heart. The associated chakras are the solar plexus and the heart. And let me go ahead and read real quick before I get to the Earth Warriors, because that'll be the last deck that I pull from before we really bounce the book about this bitch. But let me read for high heart chakra, because it is a chakra that we don't often hear discussed. And it's key to integration during this time. So, the high heart chakra, ecstatic bliss, divine love, selflessness, spiritual compassion, oneness through heart-centered bliss, healing, gratitude, giving love, dharma, patience, and joy. This card taps into the blissful oneness we feel as we drop away our edges and protective containers. This is the place where we feel held and seen, enough to flow into oneness, where the eternal part of me meets the eternal part of you. This is the selfless state where our higher selves commune, for illuminated perspective on how we share, gift, and lift others in our joyful overflow. To restore this chakra, it says, consider your life purpose by exploring what allows you to give in joy. The themes are the ways you can bring joy to yourself and others. I was just reminded of the Golden Crown card. That's very much... The healing position is the thymus gland. It says behind your sternum, a little bit above the heart. The color wash is iridescent pink. And I know I said that was the last thing I was going to read for, but let me go ahead and read for the Golden Crown, because, yeah. Number 14, which is also the number on the Earth card. Golden Crown, it says, your light is magnificent. Let us now uplift and honor the radiant light of others. Congratulations on your amazing journey so far. Acknowledge the spiritual and personal growth that you have achieved, dear one. Celebrate this moment. We are all here in spirit to rejoice in just how far you've come. Your strength and perseverance have paid off, and your future is bright. The gift of the Golden Crown has been placed upon your head in honor of all you have already achieved. Bask in the glory of love that rains down on you. You deserve it. Are you up for your next adventure? We here in spirit need your assistance. Many souls who dwell upon this earth are disconnected from love. They do not know their worth or see their inner divine light. We ask that you assist in helping humanity see its creative potential, power, and brilliant light. Be conscious of feelings of judgment and envy. It is easy to get caught up in either of the two energies. Judgment of those you see as less empowered, and envious of those who you see as more. Guiding others to their inner light requires love, empathy, and compassion. It requires that high heart chakra. There is no one less or greater than you, for we are all a part of the same source of love. Help us guide humanity back to the remembrance of who they are with a pure heart and mind. You have the will to go the distance, and you should be pleased with your personal success. Now go and be of service to humanity. Blessed be. The affirmation says, I am positively shining with spiritual light, love, and compassion. Illuminating, I inspire others to be the blessed radiance they truly are. The associated chakras are the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. We getting up to them higher chakras through the realm bridger, through the heart. Because you know you got your lower 3, the heart, then the higher 3. I mean, and then there are, there's actually more, but we're not going to get into that. Last card that we're going to pull, though, is the Earth Warriors Oracle. And then we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Y'all know that we love the Earth Warriors Oracle deck because just in case there's still a part of us that's feeling alone, feeling lonely, feeling unsupported, we have a beautiful shining example of a support system, a spirit guide, divine guidance of any sort that we might not have even known nothing about. And it's always beautiful. You know they have beautiful healing practices as well that we like to do together. So let's get into it. Get an Earth Warrior Oracle for our StarSeed Collective, StarSeed Soul Family. Just about to say, this deck is so freaking huge, bro, that my hands is always stretched. Look, ouch. That was a lot. Okay. And I was literally just looking at this card. I'm actually going to reshuffle. But this is Blessings of Kumu. No good thing shall be withheld. I'm going to reshuffle because that's what I feel like doing. Hayaka, Sorceress of Light. And then the Totemic Puma, Power Awakening. Hidden Blessings underneath that. I keep getting blessing in disguise, blessing in disguise, blessing in disguise. Whatever it is that you're worried about, it is a blessing in disguise. And I don't even love using that phrase, so that's for you. That's for you. Someone mentioned that earlier. They were saying having no father or having your father not around is a blessing in disguise. And I said I agree. But that's kind of like the energy here. It's like blessing in disguise energy. Like this discomfort, this authenticity is a blessing in disguise. All right. It says, Hayaka, Sorceress of Light. No enemy shall defeat you, not by night nor by day, not upon the earth nor in the soul. You are divinely protected and empowered. You shall fulfill your destiny with joy in your heart and laughter in your belly. Play, be in nature. Feel the freedom of happiness within you even in this moment. These are your sacred powers, and with them, you shall take every step upon your journey successfully, and nothing shall thwart your divine destiny. Whew. Okay, let's get into it because it's powerful energy and it's got a lot going. It's a lot. It says, ask for healing, mentoring, or assistance to support you now. This support will help you feel stronger and more empowered to deal with any challenges and be reassured that your spirit can handle it. There is spiritual protection for you now as you follow the guidance to explore conscious movement and creative self-expression. Give me a second, let me drink some water. This can stir up old energy, releasing it from you and allowing vital presence to take hold within you. That sentence doesn't make sense. This can stir up old energy, releasing it from you and allowing. Oh, okay. No, okay, I get it. This can stir up old energy, releasing it from you and allowing vital presence to take hold within you. You are going through an initiation in which you will need to reassert your happiness and joy anytime it slips into the darkness of doubt, fear, or anxiety. Take time to dance, sing, drum, and affirm your aliveness with joy and courage. Become spiritually bolder in the face of anything that attempts to diminish you. Have faith in the power of the divine being, the supreme power. You are watched over by love. It says, Hayaka, a goddess of Hawaiian culture, watches over the sacred dancers of the hula and the arts of chant, sorcery, and medicine. Hers is the medicine of light, sound, and the ability to penetrate the darkness of lower level consciousness, which may overwhelm our sense of spirit, joy, heart, and inspiration with defeatism, despair, boredom, and even terror. This type of onslaught from darkness comes at certain times to those seeking to embody and enact the light on earth. One of those times is when we feel strong and are making progress, but feel tested to sustain that higher level of being and awareness even through challenge. Another time may be when we feel weaker, more vulnerable, perhaps fatigued from challenge and not quite able to summon the quality of joy on our own. In all such moments, upon the spirit warrior's path of light, Hayaka assists. Hayaka is said to dwell in a grove of the lehua trees, which are sacred to her as the place where she spent her time dancing with the forest spirits. Hayaka's name translates as she who lifts darkness. Hai is from the lifting of the hip, and Aka means shadow. As patroness of sacred dancers, she reminds us that with the simple movement of our hip, we can move into dance and connect with joy. It is said that one of the first things that a shaman will ask a person who is plagued by demons, or in our modern parlance, unable to summon the energy for their truthful fulfillment and sacred purpose in the world, is when they last danced. Dancing, whether moving your body to music or symbolically in whatever way makes your being light up, is a way to invoke aliveness so that we can tap into the joy that counteracts darkness. Consider what makes you feel like your soul is dancing. Make time and space for it in your life as a practice for sustaining and strengthening your spirit. Part of Hayaka's divine purpose is bearing the clouds, providing rain, thunder, and lightning. Her wisdom reminds us that movement in itself can be healing. When energy becomes stagnant, we can struggle. This doesn't mean we abstain from rest, but rather than we learn how to rest within the endless movement of life itself. True rest still allows energy to circulate through our being. This is why we emerge from rest feeling renewed and refreshed. Movement for circulating energy means flowing in relationship with our bodies, minds, and souls, trusting our inner rhythms. Most modern lifestyles make it difficult to live in honest relationship with the mind and body. It can be tricky to find the time and the place to authentically and spontaneously honor our natural needs for expression and flow. So we summon our wisdom and creativity to find a way. Hayaka says that we must. We must be willing to move with the storm wisdom within us, or we shall be moved by the storm wisdom around us. We will be moved by those events which startle us from our routine when we are falling asleep, rather than resting and living. Permit yourself to explore a more authentic relationship with yourself. And trust that in the process, the changes that will happen, and sometimes those changes will include how and where we live and work and with whom we share our lives, will be healing. Wow, somebody, oh Lord, somebody's really got to be willing to let go of relationships that aren't serving. And I'm saying somebody because I'm not like excluding myself or anyone for that matter, but I'm saying because this keeps coming up. Someone needs to hear this and know that it's okay. Know that it is okay. It's okay. You're going to be okay. It's not about fault, blame, obligation, being a bad person. It's about being authentic. And that is literally the best gift that you can give anyone. That's the best gift that you can give yourself. That is the best gift that you can give life. Is your authentic self. And it is okay. It is okay. It's okay. That doesn't mean that you'll be alone forever. It doesn't mean that you have to settle or be settled for. It doesn't mean that being alone forever means being alone forever. You are so, so supported, and you are so loved, and you are so valued. And there is no way that anyone can ever not see that. So know that. Like you know it. Matter of fact, just accept that you already know it and allow that to just ruminate and fucking emit off of your being and out of your being. Authentically. You don't gotta fucking humble shit. Literally, what has that ever gotten anyone? Humbling themselves. Other than fucking validation from other people that they're such a good person because they're so humble. The fuck does that mean when you're hating what the fuck you're experiencing because you feel like you gotta experience that shit in order to fit in this good person bubble? It's okay. And yeah, the shit might shake you up for a bit. It might look real rickety. And you might be like, this bitch she said it was going to be okay. This shit don't feel okay. And as soon as I went ahead and trusted that shit, my whole fucking everything that was good about my life, or that I could even perceive as good about my life, blew the fuck up. Yeah, that's because it was perceived from a place of inauthenticity. And so now you have to literally choose which you prefer. Because the universe isn't going to judge you. God's not going to judge you if you choose to stay in something inauthentic. The only person who will be judging you is you. And you're going to have to deal with that shit. But if you can allow the inauthenticity to be your authentic self. Like if you recognize that there's something that's telling you that this ain't right, this ain't right, this ain't right, but you really do feel that it's right, what you say goes. You decide what's authentic. That's the whole point. You choose. For the healing process, it says, here is a prayer of protection and affirmation. You can say this for yourself or over another on their behalf. In that case, speak the invocation as if it was them speaking the prayer. This is a way to offer spiritual service to them. However, if you offer this for another, know that you cannot force it to be received by their soul, and you must honor their free will to choose how they wish to live. Say aloud, may light dance freely within my soul, lifting my mind from oppression and freeing my heart from restraint. May I honor my true nature and live in genuine inner truth. May I rest in the changes of life, moving with grace and wisdom. May I attract endless divine love and the protection to live this gift of my life in perfect fulfillment on all levels. I am dignity. I am wild grace. I am unrestrained being. I move in authentic truth, dancing sacred joy and soulful expression upon this earth. You will know when you have truly spoken this prayer from the heart because you'll feel lighter, brighter, happier, and safe. You can repeat it as often as you wish. As you do, the words will build a field of sacred light and divine protection within your consciousness. You have completed your healing process. Ashe. Ashe. And with that, soul family, we gonna wrap it up. But thank you so much for being here. If you made it to the end, you're a real one. If you didn't make it to the end, you're a real one just the same. I love you so very much. Again, I will leave you to ponder, but never ever too much. And know that you are never ever alone, even if you are by yourself. You are always divinely guided, protected, and loved. And the collective is always here for you. You always got Goddess vision. Don't you ever get it mixed up, okay? But until next time, StarSeeds, keep your head up. Hold the vision, okay? Hold the vision. Keep going. Know that the path of least resistance appears when you release resistance.